that I posted saying that white lives matter and that black lives will start to matter when they stop killing 1.6 people per day, and that being a slow year. So I responded with the fact that white lives can shoot up schools and still matter, that white lives can shoot up churches and still matter, that white lives can blow up buildings and still matter, that white lives can molest our children and still matter, that white lives can be serial killers and still matter, and that white lives can spew racist bullshit and still matter. And yet black lives have to toe the line and live a completely perfect life in order for their lives to matter. I'm not going to shut up and I won't be silent, so share this video.
And over the past few weeks, we've grieved together as the Black community has endured more senseless acts of racial terror and violence. At YouTube, we believe Black Lives Matter, and we all need to do more to dismantle systemic racism. We're committed to doing better as a platform to center and amplify Black voices and perspectives. And we're working to ensure Black users, artists, and creators can share their stories and be protected from hateful, white supremacist, and bullying content. We know there is much more work for all.
Good afternoon. This is Rudolf from Germany. I am addressing today specifically Afro-American people. I might be probably the first white man, Aryan German man, who is admitting something to you. I took a long time to think about this video which I'm showing you, a very short one, about the white race. Many of you dark-skinned people, in America mainly, have had a suspicion for a very long time. White people are not really human. And this suspicion has been around for a long time. And like any suspicion which is around for a long time, there is a little bit of truth to it. I want to admit today to you that white people originating from Northern Europe are called not aliens, they are called Aryans. Sorry about that, my brain don't function so well today. These white people are not really human from this earth like black people are, Indian people are, Asian people are. Yes, they are all humans. We white people are actually a minority, and we are, let's face the truth, also called the tall whites. Not all of us are tall, not all of us are completely white, but in general that's what it is. And as some of you may know, the tall whites are not really earthly human, but we're coming out of space, out of another galaxy. We are not human as the rest of the human race. We came here from another star, we white people, in order to control the world. We white people all have a secret code, a secret language under each other. We know, no matter how nice we pretend to be, we all stick together in order to control the other races, particularly the black race. And I am feeling so bad about it by now that I had to speak out here on this video and admit it. White people are not human. White people, including myself, all stick together, know the truth, which they do not want to admit to you. White people are out of space. We come from another galaxy. We all know our home planet, which we don't want to reveal because we don't want to be attacked. And we have no good intention with you. We do not want to share our wealth with you. We do not want to share our knowledge with you. You have been mistreated hundreds of years ago, and this is very, very bad. And your chances in life, to the most of you, many of you have no chance in life. You can sit and wait for work on a corner with your other friends, and work will never arrive to you. It's very, very hard, I know. And we rich people, we white people, we alien people don't want to share what we have with you, so you have a good time. This is my testimony in public. White people are from another planet. We white people.
Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. I am your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News Report. Black Minds News is the report. Articulate, transmit, communicate, insinuate, develop, investigate, decode, unveil, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, website, or quotes from publications. As I articulate this information, I have to create a universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this land that you call the United States, we, today's children, offspring, and present generation, we give honor to our ancestors. You know what the motto of my show is? I'm never gonna tell you what I heard. I'm only gonna tell you what I know. Today's date is July 13th, 2020. Welcome again to another Black Minds Live News Report. We got another Karen alert. What happens when the Karen is up on your property? Demanding to know, is this where you reside? Well, see what happens when this brother unveils the truth on a Karen. Another situation to be like, did you see in Houston where there was the community arrest and how they applaud the police? Well, we'll look at that as well. We have some people who like to advocate on opposition to the stance that we sometimes take. That they make it that what we talk about is like wrong and that they got all the answers, but they just regurgitate the same thing on the oppositional side. Well, watch what happened as this brother does what he do, and then we'll talk about that as well. Well, the Desean Jackson situation, yeah, we see all the noise, but stay tuned as we get into this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing, everybody? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blow Your Minds, and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. Been in the business since 2012. Used to get 300,000 views, 50,000, 30,000, 20,000. All those videos that have that, they make sure those videos are so-called out of the loop, don't even be in the count. If you were to look at my total view, you say, damn, you only got 200,000 views in 8 years? Really? You're right. Yeah, since I made that video on April 1st of 2014, the video that has pronounced where we are to this day, 6 years, prophesied and told you that what was coming, they knew then that this was not the channel to be having the viewership. But see, obviously I must not be doing it for that. I'm just doing it because, again, it is what it is. Welcome anyway. Go down the aisle. We always got a grand open over here. Happen to see something that make you feel some kind of way. Remember that the motto of my show is the truth. Don't need no partner. Well, first of all, I got to say what's good to my subscribers. Right? My day ones, those who've been with me and persistently come and watch, and know it's only about 40, 50 of you. They act like, even though the numbers are saying other people coming, they said that the 2,900 plus subscribers, none of them, and over 200 of them or more say they want every time I click on. I can't get none of the 200, and I can't get none of the new subscribers, the new people who come in and click. I mean, it is so blatant and so obvious. But they don't want us talking about you. But damn, when you gonna stop doing the bullshit that you do? But anyway, so you seen in the beginning of the intro there, right? You seen where, a white woman who did a video, and she was saying that how, white lives matter, regardless to how much wrong, how much detriment. There's a place to be memorialized, to be remembered. And regardless, their lives still matter, right? She went through a little litany. She talked about, 1.6 black people killed a day. They consider that a slow year. But all lives matter. She said a white person can shoot up a school, and that person's life still matters. She said you can shoot up a church, prayed with him, kill him, and guess what? He was able to get Burger King and go in without any kind of ruckus because his life still mattered after all that he did. Can blow up buildings with children in it, be apprehended, and do your time in jail. Your life still matter. She hushed it when she said molestation. Oh, nobody really want to touch about that, right? And when we look at the institutions and things, and boy, some of that stuff that's talked about behind that ain't even talked even on the internet, and the things that they doing, but guess what? Those lives still matter, according to what this white woman here said. Serial killers, she said, they lives still matter because they end up just going to jail and living their life out until some of them don't even get executed, right? Just died out in jail, right? And then she said, and then this day and age, she said, those who out the bullshit of racism that still, but they lives still matter. So again, no matter how much evidence you keep showing, no matter how many stories you keep reporting, no matter how much you keep relating the history, people will still say to combat that which is Black Lives Matter. Again, I don't understand. A lot of people say, why do we have to say Black Lives Matter? That is a given. To me, when I hear people who try to defend that, you know why you try to defend that? You try to defend that and make that sound stupid because a lot of you are nothing but the water boy, the water carrier, what they call the eunuch for those people. You don't want to be seen in the eyes of the company that you follow, that they think that you think the way the rest of us think. So you have to show your allegiance and make that stance in front. And we're going to talk about that because I got a clip that we're going to talk about. But I ain't going to talk about it no more. I talked enough. We're going to get into this. But the thing is, the white woman said what she said. And then you heard Rudolph said the suspicion of some truth, right? The suspicion is that he say that he believed that people outside of being white have always had a suspicion about white folks. And he said there's some truth to your suspicion of what you believe it is. And he goes through and he says all the things that he says, usual, right? And that there's a secret code amongst them. Even though as good as they want to act in front of you and try to say, And they don't want to, again, what is it? Plausible denial. There's always going to be plausible denial to anything. But they stay on code regardless, no matter how many evidence is presented, no matter what the history is recited. That don't matter. They find a way to be plausible denied or denial. So even a good, as he say, he's a German Aryan man who's going to give his testimony and say that there's no good intention. Now, I didn't say it. He said it. He blanket everyone. He didn't say some, banal, half, portion. He said no good intention. So am I to take what he say and say that's incorrect? I have to take up for his word, right? That's what he said. So let's just see. Let's just see if there's always no good intent. Now again, am I blanketing everybody? Only but the stories that we do over here. If you fall into the story, then it's you, right? So anyway, moving on. So let's check this out and we shall be right back.
Didn't think this would happen to me. Yeah. Didn't think. Yeah.
Just go, please. Let's do it.
Go ahead.
Already did.
Good.
On your way.
Good.
Right here?
This lady's crazy, y'all. I'm at my house. Huh?
Come into your fucking house.
No problem. No problem. This lady's in my way at my house saying I don't live here. This woman is saying I don't live here. This is my house. You crazy lady. Another white lady pulling some old bull crap. You know what? You crazy lady. Another white lady pulling some old bull crap. You know what? You crazy lady. Another white lady pulling some old bull crap. You know what? You crazy lady. Another white lady pulling some old bull crap. You know what?
Why did you say you don't live here?
Why don't I live here? I don't have to. I'm waiting for my son to come outside. I don't have to do anything you say, lady.
Why do you don't think he lives here?
I already called the police.
Good. She already called the police.
Yep.
Another one of those ladies on TV, on the internet. No, come back. Why are you running? Fuck me. Why are you talking like that? There's children out here. What's wrong with you? I was sitting there minding my business, waiting on a truck to come out, and she says I don't live here.
Your fucking driveway, idiot.
I don't have to do that. I don't have to.
You're a fucking drug dealer.
Wow.
Did you hear that? I'm a drug dealer. Wow. Amazing. You see this stuff on the internet all the time, but you never think it's going to happen to you at your own house. But there it is. There it is.
Wow.
That's amazing. She wanted to block the door and everything.
All right, so we are back. Another Karen Act to add to the list of Karens all across the United States. The epidemic of Karen, right? So we see here as the video showed that his young brother that was sitting in his vehicle, according to what we overheard in the video, seemed like he was waiting for his son to arrive in the car, but Karen must have been seeing the vehicle outside of her home and decided to, MYOB, minding her own business, right? And decided that she needed to call the police, but then needed to take it a step further by investigating her in the green machine with Scooby. She didn't even have them with her, but she by herself. Huh? It was Thelma by herself, right? And so what we see taking place, young man gets out of the vehicle, decides to turn on his cell phone to videotape. He gives a little intro by saying that if something should happen to him, this is the beginning of it. So that is, see, just think about that. We as black people in this country, again, everybody always say black on black crime, right? Everybody love to throw that black on black crime. Then you compound it by putting these other scenarios adding to it, and then wonder why black people are out here protesting, trying to deal with the scenarios on a daily basis, and then yet the preponderance of these stories, videos, and episodes seem to make people think that they're not true. And so he decided to record himself. And she's so demanding. This is where you live? I'm going to your fucking house. Wait a minute. Did you not say you called the police? So why are you putting yourself in more harm's way than allowing for the authorities to intervene and do their job? If that's what you said you did. But obviously you trying to, solve the riddle before they get there and have this aha moment that I got one and I'm not going to be a Karen. The young man was like, yeah, that's where I live at. I'm going to your fucking house. You go over to the house. Go ahead. Walks right past her, opens the door and go in. She looking like, oh, okay. Hey, there's some crazy lady out here saying I don't live here, right? And then when you see come back and he looks at her, right? He looks at her, and that look she had on that back in the day, we used to call that ass face, right? When your ass just caught up, when you lied, and everybody done read your ass as lying. That's why I replayed it 3 times, right? You crazy lady. Right? You crazy lady. Look, you crazy lady, right? And instead of her humbling herself and saying, you know what? I misread the situation. I'm sorry. Let me get on my phone, call the police, and tell them it was a misunderstanding. I resolved it. Please do not come. That ain't what she did. No, she didn't. Because he said matter of fact, she was still going after he had went in, which he didn't have to do that, but he did that to validate what he was saying. And then even after that, she still was questioning, like, you need to show me. He was like, what do you mean show you? I don't have to prove anything to you. I mean, so you mean to tell me that this strange man walked into some house that you believed was not his, and the people inside did not come out, that you needed further investigation, yet you called the police, and right? And once you realized how wrong you was, you walked off the porch and still thinking of a way to get out of the situation. Your car should have been in your fucking driveway. What? You're just wrong. What is so hard that it's obvious when you're wrong? When you just caught red-handed. Y'all just don't realize that all these videos, all these stories is just really being filed for another time. That's what I just believe. I believe all this stuff is being found. Maybe y'all think y'all preserved it in your so-called, what they call those things that they, store all this information in. You're storing all this information for you, for what you use it for. But I think it's going to be like for you to be pulling up on you when it's your turn, right? But anyway, she also goes on and said he's a drug dealer. See? You went on even more, adding more wood to the fire. Instead of dousing the fire out, you still throwing more rocks. And then y'all wondering why we have to be having these shows that keep constantly showing this, because it is your behavior. It is your behavior, right? It is your behavior that you deny who you is. And then we have to be the ones that have to be dealing with your behavior that can also cause us to be in a situation where it could be life or death. So you think we're going to just keep sitting here and allowing that to just manifest itself at your whim because of your wrongness? That's why the Karen Act had to come to. And it's going to go all through every state or territory that the United States is in. Because it's ridiculous. It's one thing to be in a situation, you see someone that's at a fence, you see some people, they up on your goddamn porch now. Next, a motherfucker is going to be in your house. When is this shit going to stop with y'all? Right? That shit is crazy, man. You understand? That shit is fucking crazy. Like somebody on the board, they amazing. It was amazing. But, you know, it is what it is, right? So let's go and move to the next story here. This next one here was, again, about arrests that I seen in Houston. I want you to see this and we'll come back after that.
I just don't want you to get hurt.
Tonight, Houston police in the national spotlight, getting attention after this video of an arrest is shared by celebrities. That video has a whole lot of people talking tonight. Lauren Tallarico reports why officers are being applauded.
It's a Houston arrest going viral.
Don't get on his neck now.
For all the right reasons.
Come on his back. All right, we got
it shows community and cop working as one.
Help us out. You need some help? Yeah.
That voice you hear is Ulrich Fields.
That's a good guy. He's a good house.
On Monday, Fields was going to buy some gum at this Southeast Houston gas station when panicked customers ran out.
Oh, he had a knife. What's a knife?
When police arrived, Fields started filming. You see officers go inside, struggle with the suspect, tase, and then try to cuff him.
Don't get on his neck now.
That's when the officer explains his tactics and asks for help.
Hey, don't do all that resistance, bro. Chill out, bro.
Just chill out, man.
Fields is trying to calm the suspect down while others free his arms to be cuffed. For Fields, this whole situation was personal.
You know, I used to be a career criminal, and I used to be on that side of the fence at that.
He says for 15 years, he was on that side.
Drugs and stealing and, you know, lying.
But since 2015, he's carried this crumpled piece of paper in his wallet of the day he changed his life.
And a jury of 12 people came out there and shook my hand and told me that they see something in me.
Now he tries to see the good in all, on both sides of the law.
I'm a man of God, I'm a man about right and wrong.
This video has hundreds of thousands of views. Even musician Timbaland shared it, saying they got it right this time, praising HPD.
I appreciate y'all, man, letting us help y'all like that, man. Thanks, guys, thanks.
An arrest that became an example of what working as one can do.
And I don't want to take any glory saying that it was all me, because it was all us together. Come on, give me your arm, bro.
Standing for Houston, I'm Lauren Tallarico, KHOU 11 News.
I don't want you to get hurt.
It was all us together.
All right, we back, right? So, in Houston, Texas, a Houston man saw an opportunity to de-escalate police encounter that intensified quickly at a gas station in southeast Houston. Said he believes he was at the right place at the right time. Now, the incident was all captured on video, as we've seen, and the man is seen at the gas station on Fuqua pacing back and forth inside, and witnesses say he had a weapon and may have been on some sort of drugs. Bystanders recorded the ordeal as police moved in on him. He had a knife, a butcher knife, a witness is heard saying in the video. That's when Ulrich Fields stepped in the video. He's heard calling out the Houston police officer to ensure a safe and peaceful arrest. It says, don't get on his neck. Right? We heard what he say. Don't get on his neck, bro. right? And the police says back, I'm on his back. And the officer replied, right? And so you see the officers turn to the community. That's what they say. He turned to the community and those around him to assist. At first, Uric thought that the officer was being sarcastic, right? He thought he was trying to bait him into a situation to get him in trouble, right? Think about that too, because see, that's like the George Floyd situation when the brother that was sitting there was saying, "Man, you wrong for that, man. You a punk, you weak." You know what I'm saying? Remember that one brother with the George Floyd situation? He probably right now, that would be an interview I would like to do. And that's what I'm going to try to do is, as time go on, I'm going to see if I can start trying to get some interviews with some of these people to see if they willing to come to the show. I know this show is in the dead corner. I know it don't get out, but that don't mean I still not going to do the work. But anyway, so that situation, that brother there might feel some kind of way knowing that he probably could have done something that could have changed the outcome of that. And so, based on what we've seen here with the Uric Fields, his intervention, they took to another level and tried to, what they're saying is commending the police officers. But really, this was the community interaction in the situation. And a lot of people may feel a certain kind of way because we don't really know what that arrest was about. They never said that he was robbing the store, what was the whole ordeal for them being called in the first place? Could it have just been a disagreement between him and the person inside the store, and they called the police, rushed to call the police? We don't know what that was all about. All we know is that we've seen as the video and what they're saying, they took the situation and made it about community assisting the police and the situation that probably could have turned. But again, they had already apprehended him. The thing they was doing, trying to get his hands, how much more could it have been? But, okay, so, as they saying, everybody is concerned with the police brutality and how the whole George Floyd situation has, calls for reform. And so they use a storyline about the brother, right? I think it's Uric Fields is his name, right? And he said, as you heard in the video, he said years ago, he went from a career criminal to seeking God and turning his life around. And he just wanted the suspect who was being arrested to have that same redemption. Now, again, that's speculation because you're not sure what he was being arrested for. It could have been an altercation between him and the store clerk about something either being said or something had done, and this found out where he worked at. There's a whole litany of reasons that situation could have been manifesting. So you're insinuating, but again, as a community and intervening in the situation to get there, again, there's going to be mixed feelings about that. And, to each his own how you perceive it. And so his thing is that he used to be in that life and he just didn't want to see the brother get hurt, and he needed a second chance because he believed that he could either got killed or brutally beat up. And so you see that he got down on the ground, coaxing the brother, go ahead, let them do what they got to do and, be done with it, whatever, And again, people got their way how they look at it. Some people going to be like, might be a sucker move. Some people might say it was commendable, right? And so again, you heard him talk about, 15 years ago, right? He had been in that same kind of situation, right? But what changed his life, he said that 12 jurors freed him, right? And allow him to walk. And that was the thing that he keep that paperwork to remind him of, whatever that situation. So I'm saying, okay, he said they seen something in him and this is the work and this is the move he's doing. All right, fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's his testimony, right? That's his testimony. And the commendable part is the fact that the communities are getting involved by being there, making sure things are going according to policy. If a situation seems to be out of hand and you think that it's the one who's being arrested, I guess we can't kind of coax and like, bro, gone, don't, you know what I'm saying, whoop the woo, I guess, right? But everybody gonna feel their own way, how they feel about it. Y'all have to tell me, because, you know, I got mixed feelings about that, because I'm like, I don't know, is that the road we want to go with now? Because look how they took that situation and turned it on this brother and said, because he said he was a career criminal. So you know how they blame, just like the white woman that went to the damn house, wrong as shit, and still want to say that he sold drugs, right? Don't know shit about my man. Just that was the first thing come out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So here you is giving your background. It was just you as a concerned citizen who wanted to intervene. You know, sometimes you got to say the speech, right? There ain't no need for no speech. I came in as a concerned citizen. I wanted to make sure the young bro, you know, that they have no incidents that was unnecessary or unwarranted. But to give this background was to give credence to them and to say, see, look, we turned this career criminal around. We can do the same thing with him. Proper getting him arrested and go through the system. We rehabilitate, which they don't never rehabilitate shit, right? They just go in and out of that shit. And that he gave the whole story of the 12 jurors that, you know, gave him. Okay, fine. That's his testimony. But every situation is not the same. In every case, you can go in there under the same title. You can have 3 people in there for burglary, but the situation won't be the same. But that's what happened in there. Again, a lot of people are going to have their mixed emotions about it. Is it a good thing to be able to have the community intervene in situations unbeknownst? But what if it's a situation, there's some of the stories that have been breaking where, let's say that they got these people impersonating themselves as police officers who are out here as some of them good old boys. And here the community, they look like, they dress like, they sound like, looking like, and you help apprehend them, and it be them boys. And then you come to find out they done did their business, and you all help with it. Then you got to live with that too. So that's what I say. It's kind of one of them damn you do, damn you don't situations. Intervene when necessary. You know, it just, again, it's a you make the call. It's one of them things. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that, if you see anything into it or not. So anyway, let me go to the next part here. Check this out again. I don't know. Check this out.
Crime is real, and most of them are dying from black crime. White people aren't doing anything to them. White people voted Barack Obama in for 8 years. 8 years. Everything that the blacks could be crying about should have did it on his watch, and they didn't. I'm black, 52, I'm not oppressed. Ain't nobody oppressing me. America is more free than it's ever been. That's right. And every black person know that. Amen. So they keep listening to somebody make you think they going through this. Some little young 19-year-old black person, they've been through this. They ain't been through nothing. They're creating it. They're creating a problem that does not exist, like they're talking about. Is there racism? Of course. But overall, do you understand how far we come? Yeah, do you understand how far we've come? We have now in America, white mothers and fathers are allowing their daughters to marry black folks. Y'all know this stuff that don't exist like it used to. Years ago, a white girl could have never. I'm married to a Caucasian woman, the most beautiful woman in the world. So all this talk about racism and all this, don't listen to it. It's a lie. They don't know who they're mad at. Remember, this started with George Floyd. It went from George Floyd to now it became the white people. Then it went from the white people. Now it's the whole system of America. They don't know what they're mad at. They don't know what they're bothered by. All we're saying, you guys, don't get caught up in the hype. It's all wrong. I am the happiest man. I'm one of the happiest men in the world. I'm one of the happiest, blessed men in the world. If you could see my life, I thank God. But that's what I told them. I'm not oppressed. The only people that's oppressed in this world is people that embrace being oppressed.
It is. Yes.
If you want to complain about something, there's a million things to complain about, but why not be grateful at what you have? And this is what I say. If they're so bothered, why don't they leave and go to Africa and to another country?
Hey, stop! Hit the police. 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 Hit the police.
Don't you just feel like you want to give a motherfucker that, this, Like, what the, what? Man, let me tell you something, man. So you heard my man out there on his soapbox defending, saying that white people voted for Barack Obama for 8 years. Well, what other choice did they have? Look who he ranked, John McCain. Do you know that most white people don't look at they looked at John McCain based on his tenure as into the military, right? So it's like, look at who the matchups be, and like it's obvious who the hell supposed to win, right? It's kind of like when it was Donald Trump and Hillary. It seemed to be a laughing joke when Donald Trump, but the fact that if you didn't know all the shit that was going on in the background with Hillary Clinton, then obvious was like the Democrats thought they was, but it was like everybody that knew was like, man, ain't no way for to put her up in there. So you sitting there saying that white people actually put Barack Obama, but when you break it down, let's look at it this way. You saying they put a black man in the White House, but they put a black man specific that was not tied to the slaves of bloodline of this land. Let me say that again. Oh yeah, white folks might have voted for Barack Obama, but they made sure not to vote for a nigga that would be up. Oh shit, did I say that shit? I say it again. They made sure they didn't vote for no nigga that came from the bloodline of the descendant of the slaves. But here you talking, right? Here somebody talking about he 52 years old, right? And saying, well, when he was in there for 8 years, yeah, it was the time you should have been. Wait a minute, hold on. 44 presidents had been in the White House prior to Obama, right? Black people didn't start voting till 65. They got the rights to vote. Ain't no election in 65, is there? They missed that one in 64, right? 68 would be the first time black folks is voting. 68 to the present day, or 2012, when Barack Obama comes in, is how long, sir? See? Look at the math. That was 44 years? Huh? 44 presidents with 44 years, right? And how many elections is that? 11. Black people only been in 11 presidential elections, even though black people, we don't know, the population don't vote for the president. But just the procession of it, 11 times. So there's been 10 white men before Barack Obama. And when Barack Obama came in, he told you straight out that he was the president for all. So it wasn't no difference between him and the 10 and the 44 or the 43 before him. But see how a nigga who just want, they say sexual access, right? You just want sexual access to have white ass. Whether you're a man or a woman. You just want some white ass from white people, right? And you'll say anything so that your ass seem like you's a good one. This one good. He was so good. I'm gonna get into that. We don't get into that, right? So he's sitting there talking about that was the time if you had any problems. One. Damn, look at this shit. Look at your mindset. One nigga out of the whole establishment is going to make up for all the other shit. And as if there ain't no regular business. And then, wait a minute, hold on, let me go. Wait. You got a nigga in there that ain't cut from the bloodline of BADOS. His mama is tied to them. So what you think they was thinking, voting for him? He's safe for us. He's not going to bite his own friend. He's not going to do a Kaepernick to us, right? He's not going to do a Kaepernick because why? Kaepernick daddy might be, I don't really know. I'm just going to say his daddy might be BADOS. But they knew for a fact that this one, daddy was not BADOS. So he has more allegiance to them than he did to us. And that's what we saw, right? That's what we saw. But this is the talking point you want to throw back at black people and say the stuff that you're complaining and talking about now, you could have did it when he was in there. Is that a white talking point? Is that what white folks be saying? So what the hell is a nigga sitting there saying this shit? You understand? What nigga sitting here saying that damn bullshit? And then he goes on and he talks about some what did he say? He said, what did he say? That he's 52 years and he not oppressed. What country you live in? What country do you live in? Now again, you say, let's say there ain't no slavery. Now again, depending on your understanding of what slavery is, right? Slavery might be your interpretation of just looking back when people were on plantation, chains, and all that, right? That might be your only interpretation of slavery. Does that mean, because your lack thereof understanding of a evolved form of the same system that you just haven't detected means it don't exist because you say it don't exist? I need to know who your parents are and what kind of conversation they had with you. And then I got to see what type of, because you said something that I already knew right then. It fell up out your mouth, right? Fell right up out his mouth. And what did he say? Right? He goes on and then he attacks the young ones out there who are trying to say that they being now 19 years old. Here you 52. At 19, what was you doing? You Generation X. I bet you was one of them mugs that was out there when the reverberation of Malcolm X came back, when the X and the red, black, and green and all that came out, and the medallions and all that. I bet you like them niggas crazy. Them niggas out there with all that booty, right? Right? Maybe your parents didn't do nothing in the 50s and the 60s, and that's why they might have been that bougie class motherfucker, right? Right? Sometimes you could just hear them up when they talking and be like, you coming from, man? But so he said that these little 19-year-olds out there, they don't know nothing. They ain't been through nothing. They got parents. They got grandparents. They got great-great-grandparents. They been here not just in their 19 years of life, homie. We been here for hundreds of years. You gonna attribute a 19-year-old to somebody who just born at 19 years old? That 19-year-old got DNA that resonated him going all the way back to when we've been originally been here. See, that just shows the lack there of understanding that a lot of people who you try your best to appease these other damn people and you have not really sat down because you really don't want to be you. And you talking about you not oppressed. Wait a minute, you born at 52 and you did this, and if this is 2020, so I'm going to say that you born between 68 and let's say 67. So that means you born with the civil rights, right? You born from the civil rights era. When they got that. That was the first implication of them trying to do something. And look at all the turmoil and stuff that went through to get that. What do you mean? You're talking about more freer than this ever. What does that even mean? More freer. He said, you know what he said? It's more free because white man and white woman will let you marry their daughter. They didn't do that. Wait a minute, nigga. You ain't read, you don't know nothing about history? Do you not know in certain places in the South, like South Carolina, Louisiana, you don't think there was no mixing going on, black and white, and some of that? We're not talking about when we talking about the plantation. We're talking about afterwards. They were doing it. You understand? But is that what freer is? Is because you can marry Karen and Dan? That would make your ass free because you can marry Karen and Dan? What about all the other shit? What about all the shit that your damn people done been through? What all the shit? See, these are the most, hey man, these people here are dangerous. Huh? This the type, this is a dangerous cat because he's so condescending to them that you seen that white woman go all out of way. Oh, and then he says, see, I can validate the fact that we're freer. I got a white woman, the best one. Huh? Is that what make this all the word? Because your ass got a white woman? That would make this shit all because all you wanted was a white woman. That was the whole shit. Matter of fact, they used to make that shit a goddamn joke in a lot of the damn movies, right? Matter of fact, was the movie that whatchamacallit did? Undercover Brother, right? White She-Devil, right? Bring white She-Devil in to take all that blackness out and then turn him, he was wearing duck shoes and all, right? I say, you want to get an angry black man, just give him a white woman here, calm him out. That's what you're talking about. Sexual access is freedom to them. Whether they LGBT, straight, or whatever, as long as they can get into some white, whether you're getting schlong or ass, one of the two, whatever it is, y'all cool with that shit. This shit ain't about that. This shit ain't about none of that shit. But that's the shit you sitting there trying to espouse and talking about, huh? That's why some of the young mothers don't be wanting to talk to some of these motherfuckers like, because you talking that craziness, right? Right? He said all they doing, all this talk about racism. Yes, racism exists. Yes, racism exists, but all this talk about racism. See, you are confused. You can't have both. Either it does or it doesn't exist. If it didn't exist, then be like, why y'all talking about racism when it don't exist? But it do exist. It's just different from because you can marry now a white girl. Really? Maybe the white girl coming over there because she don't want the white man because the white man's sorry. He can't have babies. She want to get potent, so she want to have a baby, so she got to go over there with somebody who... Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It started from George Floyd to it was about white folks to it was about the system. All the above. Do you understand what I'm talking about? What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is you talking about? It's all the above. It's all the above. Then he says, only those who embrace being oppressed. Only those who let me tell you something. Only those who try to act like it ain't real. That's why you crazy as fuck. Because you acting like something that is fucking real, trying to act like it's not so that you can say have access to fucking Becky is making the shit good. Nigga, it's bigger than that shit. That's some bullshit. Nigga, you want to go fuck white women? Go fuck white women. But that shit ain't got shit to do with my ancestors, the 400 years, the Jim Crow, my crack era, the incarceration, the continuous shit now. You go, that's that nigga's reparation. Put that shit on paper, let him sign it, and everything that's from him. So that's it. You just got access to white women, and you good. That's what you got, huh? Then he says the old kicker in the head ass shit. If you don't like it, you could go to Africa. Nigga, I built this motherfucking place. If they don't like it, take their ass back to Europe. Let me say that again. Nigga, we built this place. Ain't nobody telling us to go no motherfucking where. Matter of fact, you don't like the shit, take your ass and your nigga ass with their ass back to goddamn Europe. Always want to tell us, and the white woman just melted. And when you see that shit and you a nigga talking, you know you talking they points. You talking they motherfucking points, huh? That's the shit you talking. They bullshit. That shit is crazy as hell, man. Nigga 52 years old, and that's the goddamn shit he's saying. And he thinking that he's saying some shit. The white man sitting there agreeing to his ass until that nigga start talking about sleeping with white women. Nigga, don't you know that's the whole problem they got? That they women coming over there sleeping with you? They trying to do self-preservation, but they can't because you intervening. You didn't know that their ass is going extinct because they can't have babies. And here you coming in with this red, white, and blue ass speech, but really you killing them. But like I said in the video that I did back in April 1st of 2014, I said use the type, keep doing what you're doing. Because you fighting them in a way that, you understand? You using your weapon of mass destruction. And then at the same time telling them you love them. They gonna figure out about mugs like you. They gonna figure them out. Anyway, that shit crazy, man. You too old to be talking like that shit. Nigga too old to be talking about some ain't no oppression. Ain't the damn niggas out there fighting, they don't know what the fuck they fighting about. Ain't no racism, but there is racism. What the fuck? And we freer than we ever been because now we can marry a goddamn white woman. What the? Man, come on, man. That shit crazy. That shit crazy. That is some crazy shit. Talking about you marry a white woman. That made it good. Anyway, moving on, man. All right, this one here. Let's go ahead and get in here. This one, get this one, right? It is what it is. So check this out, y'all.
And here's what's happening in Eagle under fire. Wide receiver Desean Jackson posts anti-Semitic content on social media, and the reaction is utter outrage and condemnation. This is Eyewitness News at 6, and we are streaming live on CBS 10 Philly. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington. Jackson has apologized, but is it too late or too little too late? His own team condemns his actions. Pat Gallen has been on this story all day, and he has more now on Jackson's apology and what the Eagles have to say.
Desean Jackson has been working out in Florida with other Eagles players preparing for the upcoming NFL season. That might be on hold after he shared hateful speech via Instagram.
He's got Jackson again! He's got it!
Over the weekend, Jackson took to Instagram to promote messages and quotes that are purportedly linked to Adolf Hitler. Jackson also shared quotes to his 1 million plus followers from Louis Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam. Farrakhan has long been considered an anti-Semite by the Anti-Defamation League. After the initial backlash, Jackson backtracked by saying, in part, quote, "Anyone who feels I have hate towards the Jewish community took my post the wrong way." Late this morning, the Eagles released a statement announcing they have had conversations with Desean and that his messages are, quote, "offensive, harmful, and absolutely appalling." But they have not made a decision on his future with the team, saying that they are continuing to evaluate the circumstances and will take appropriate action. Desean went back to Instagram today to apologize for any hurt caused by his comments.
My post was definitely not intended for anybody of any race to feel any type of way, especially the Jewish community. When I posted what I posted, I definitely didn't mean it to the extent that you guys took it, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm, very apologetic.
His posts are so hurtful and dangerous.
Shira Goodman of the Anti-Defamation League of Philadelphia says Desean needs to learn about why his posts are harmful.
If you think you've done something wrong, you need to take responsibility. You need to understand it. And we don't think that posting Hitler and Farrakhan demonstrates understanding of the damage and danger that hatreds of all kind, whatever ism you have, anti-Semitism, racism, what we're seeing a lot now during coronavirus, bias against the Asian American Pacific Islander community. All of those kinds of hates are extremely dangerous.
I spoke with former Eagles GM Joe Banner via text, and he declined to be interviewed, but he helped draft Desean back in 2008. And Banner said via Twitter that it would be totally appropriate to consider cutting Jackson and that there should be a team meeting to discuss. For now, Desean remains an Eagle, but a punishment could be forthcoming. I'm Pat Gallen, CBS 3 Eyewitness Sports.
So what do you think the Eagles should do? Was the apology enough, or should the Birds cut ties with the wide receiver? Share your thoughts on the CBS.
All right, we back, right? So what did Desean Jackson say? NFL star posted fake Hitler quote on Instagram. What did Desean Jackson say? NFL star posted fake Hitler quote on Instagram, right? So a lot of conversation fell around what Desean Jackson had said, right? And it looked like what they talked about, other than, the fact that, you cut out a part, it was a cut and paste part, right? Because they never addressed it, what he stated. He talked about that he posted that for enliftment. But all they did is took the part that they wanted to and address that. But never addressed the fact of what he was talking about. Well, what you talking about, Mr. Blows Your Mind? Well, let me show you something here, y'all. Let me show you something here. Do I got it? Let me see if we see. I think I got it here, right? Do we got it here? Okay, right? You see that there? Now there was a little parts above, but we're not gonna focus on that because that's what they focusing on, right? Said the white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. Let me say that again. The part that everybody wanted to not talk about, don't want to address, they want to focus the attention off of that and focus on what they say anti-Semitism. Now the thing is, what you see is somebody has taken a picture of what looks like a page in a book. And I think he reposted this, right? Now, in there, it did say some things that talk about extorting, right? To keep them in position. But it also said that Hitler said that, right? They have already deemed it that Hitler did not say that, right? They said he didn't say that. So if he didn't say that, and the person who he's taking the copy of the book page of this book, why not go attack the author of whoever wrote the page? Did y'all notice that, how that was never part of the conversation? They only put everything on him for posting it, and then they tried to attribute the fact that he went and said or posted something or in favor of Louis Farrakhan. Have you ever seen anybody outside of being black being told who they can worship, who they can have, affiliation with? We've seen Barack Obama have affiliation with Jeremiah Wright because he said, "Goddamn America," and the black theology that he was talking. You've seen Carmelo Anthony told by what was his name? He died. David Stern, right? Told him, "No, you can't have no affiliation with Louis Farrakhan," right? These be grown men. Matter of fact, didn't LeBron James get in trouble for reciting in a rap about them having money? Why is, let me learn something. If somebody say you got all the damn money, why is that so offensive to say you got all the damn money? Huh? Why is that so offensive? Make me understand it. I'm not understanding that. That you got all the money. If they said the shoe fits, you wear it, right? What's wrong with that? Is it because that who got that kind of power, that kind of influence in economics, got to ask, how'd you get your money? How do the people who claim to be the most gone through stuff in history, who tried to actually take the place of the black Americans as having the most atrocious history in history? But the thing they did not want to address is what you see on your screen. That white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. Won't they address that? Is that a lie? Okay, let's say Hitler didn't say that. But is that a lie? You know, many people say go to Deuteronomy 28 and 60, right? Or 62, I think it might be. And they talk about right there describes who the children of Israel is. Where in the scripture show that it was going to happen to stuff that happened in Auschwitz? Show that part in the scriptures, right? Why does the Bible talk about those who say they are but are not? Why is that in there? And why does it be specific about the word that it used as to the temple of what it worships in? So I even seen where it's talking about never to tie the Negro in with the Jews. Why is that? How could they if there is nothing that ties them to it? So the question becomes, was this to deflect off, because everything right now has been too much about the black struggle, everybody. So it's like they've been coming every little thing. They use the LGBT to come at you. They try to get white folks, you know what I'm saying? They try to come black folks who will sell out. They done everything. They went to the Jews. They can't fight against the Jews, right? Grown man, 33 years old, and Stephen Jackson can't really defend Stephen Jackson. Because Stephen Jackson has said some things, and that's, I guess what some people are not really defending him. Still brother, but, you know. But he was a 42-year-old man and a 33-year-old man who said he was inspiring his people. Not what he was saying about that particular part, even though it was highlighted. I think if he would have just, or maybe it was something that was sent to him and he was just sending it, but he felt like once they read this part, because let's look at it this way. Listen to what the rest of it says. They will fear God will destroy them as he destroyed Egypt for doing the same thing. So the elite, the Illuminati, keeps this a secret at all costs. After I die, I will one day cause World War III just by this message, which will be like planting a seed in a people's mind until it sprout once they nurture that seed and seek more truth and learn Hitler was right. Let me say that again from the top. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. They will fear God will destroy them as he destroyed Egypt for doing the same thing. So the elite, the Illuminati, keeps this a secret at all costs. After I die will one day cause World War III just by this message, which will be like planting a seed in a people's mind until it sprout once they nurture that seed and seek more truth and learn Hitler was right. Day and time and the stuff that we going through, a lot of stuff is spiritual, a lot of people don't see. Well, guess what was dropped in? This right here. You think when y'all did this and y'all trying to make all that focus about the top part of that and focus, somebody was have them coming to attack you. We're not doing anything. You understand? People try to act as if they're innocent. A lot of people try to pretend like they ain't had their hand in nothing. They just existing, living life, doing their own thing, but they ain't got no hands. Their hands ain't dirty in nothing. You ever read this book called Aaron Lopez? You know who Aaron Lopez is? And matter of fact, who did he married the daughter, but he got the company from her father, right? And then when you talk about Newport, right? And all that, See, everybody trying to act as if like they had no hand in with us. Everybody don't want to talk about that because your hand's somewhere in there, right? Your hands might be somewhere in there. And when your hand in there, how can y'all say what you say is to say you the chosen people? When the Bible has said somebody else and it ain't you. So to divert all that attention, but it's too late because that's been put out here. How many people are out there seeking to find out what that seed is? And that seed going to fester, that seed is going to grow. And the truth is going to be revealed no matter what kind of organizations you put to try to make people seem like that. He went and got a 94-year-old that was in Auschwitz. Shit, you can have that in your damn family. That's been here for generations that gone through what we gone through here in this damn country. Wait a minute, we in the country that we've been suffering. Why are they telling me back to some place that ain't got nothing to do with me? Let me say that again. Why the hell is you trying to take me to some place that if that's what your history is, that's your business. The history what we talking about, we're still in the damn land that what it is. How do you take precedence over me? See? Everybody here is against us. Everybody. All of them. They act as if like they come like they, but in reality, as it says there, just keep digging. What does the scripture says? Dig for like buried treasure, and what you seek you shall find. The problem is plausible denial is always going to be there. But the thing is, they talk about, Lord, Lord, did I not prophesy in your name? Lord, Lord, did I not do miracles and works in your name? But you know what the scripture has said? Get away from me, you worker of unlawfulness, Get away from me. I never knew you. All that showy display, acting like, you know what I'm saying? But you hid the truth the whole time. When they talk about the Jacob and the Esau story, really it's about stealing somebody's birthright. Somebody took somebody's birthright and acting like they was the original one entitled to it. That's been the biggest secret that's been going on in this whole damn land. Everybody that come to this goddamn land is a thief. Everybody here to steal. Everybody other than the BADOS. And that's why y'all don't want us to have shit. You all steal from us. And y'all sit with a straight ass face like y'all ass is righteous, stand right, and all that. That's what y'all do. So you try to besmirch somebody and make them seem like, the worst thing or the tragiest thing you could have ever done was to do that because, you know what I'm saying? Anything that, wait a minute. You know what that's like? Like when Terry Crews talking about like everybody it's dangerous to make everybody to think the same way you do, right? Like if you're going to try to make everybody follow the same way that the way you look, then that way it's like Simon said, I said you got to do because I said, right? Well, let me put it to you like this. Did you know, right? You heard of Jesse Owens, right? Jesse Owens didn't have that same feeling, right? And they said that, when Jesse said the things that he said, he didn't go along with what they said, right? But this is the way they had propagandized it. Watch this.
Hitler was there that afternoon. He had arrived just in time for another German gold, this time by Karl Hein in the hammer throw, but was now focused on cheering for his country's 100-meter entrant, Erich Borchmeyer, whose qualifying time of 10.7 seconds in the semifinal put him in contention. But once the gun sounded, the Buckeye bullet was challenged only briefly by fellow Midwesterner Ralph Metcalf. Borchmeyer would miss the medal stand entirely.
Owens liegt schon vor und Strandberg hinter ihm. Rosenberg nimmt sich heran. Metcalf kommt. Ziel. Sieger im 100-Meter-Lauf. Jesse Owens.
The outburst of popular approval of his win was complete, and it was overwhelming to the Germans. It was amazing, remarkable, and they weren't prepared for that.
These people had to reconcile in that moment this idea of Aryan Superman. Maybe this isn't true. Maybe this is a myth. That man, right now, in this moment, is revealed the truth.
The crowd responded with thunderous admiration, but there would be no audience with the Fuhrer. The president of the International Olympic Committee had insisted that Hitler no longer congratulate any medalist in his box unless he agreed to greet them all.
Hitler understood that this would mean down the line he would have to shake the hand of a black man. This was not something he wanted to do, and so he told Ballet Latour that in the future he would not congratulate publicly any of the athletes.
Acknowledged or not, the news of Owens' victory was broadcast worldwide, piercing Hitler's theory of Aryan supremacy. A day after his first gold, Owens added a second.
What was evident, everybody's rooting for Jesse. Everybody was.
All right, so question becomes, right? Now, based on what you just seen there, question becomes, what they said in there, was that true or not, right? Was that really true? Was it really true? Was it true? Let me see if I can show that or not. Maybe we can't show it. It ain't showing, right? Right? Did Hitler shake hands with Black 1936 Olympic hero Jesse Owens? Now, according to what you've seen in there, they said he didn't, right? They said that Hitler did not shake Jesse Owens' hands. And they said because he was black, that he wouldn't shake his hand, right? That's what they said, right? But accordingly, story is that they said they call it the greatest sporting snub in history. They claim that Adolf Hitler had stormed out of the Olympic Stadium in Berlin because Germany was humiliated by a black man, right? Now, the history is that, again, they say he stormed out and that it was the moment in 1936 when they say they deemed Jesse Owens as an incredible American athlete who, you know, had the gold medals in the 100 meters, right? And they talked about how Hitler, who had shaken hands the previous day with all the German Olympic winners, left the stadium furious that Aryan supermen had been beaten by the supposed racial inferior black man, right? Right? But that's what they sold as the propaganda. But check this out. But there was a veteran sports reporter in Germany who had came forward and claimed that though Hitler did indeed leave the stadium after the race, it was not before shaking Owen's hand. Let me say that again. They said a veteran sports writer that was in Germany who came forward to claim, yes, Hitler did get up and leave, right, the stadium, but it was not before he shook Owen's hands. Now, Siegfried Michner, who was 83, he claims that Owens carried around a photograph in his wallet of the Führer doing just that. Siegfried Michner, an 83-year-old, he claims that Jesse Owens had a picture of him and Hitler shaking hands. And guess what? When Jesse Owens was accosted by the newspapers here, and when he tried to tell that, they didn't want that story being told. He felt, according to what they say, that he felt that it was unfairly on Hitler's attitude towards him, right? He said the newspaper of the day reported unfairly on Hitler's attitude towards him. He tried to get Messer and his journalist colleagues to change the accepted version of the history in 1960. So Jesse Owens had an entirely different relationship, or ain't gonna say relationship, moment, but what was propagandized was something entirely different. Right? Now, am I saying that what took place and what they talking about in Auschwitz and all that, as if that didn't happen and that you're not an evil person for doing that? That is not what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the person who's talking, this Michener, now he claimed that Owen showed him the photograph and claimed that Owen said this was the most beautiful moment in his life. He said that it was taken behind the honor stands so not to capture by the world press. And he's saying, this Michener said he's seen it. I saw him shaking Hitler's hand. But the opinions that was in this post-war time in Germany, they ignored and didn't want to acknowledge that, right? Huh? So, based on that, they decided not to report the photo. And so they said, based on this, was able to, again, to paint him in the negative light. Now, again, I'm not here trying to say that Hitler was not who Hitler was. I'm saying with Jesse Owens in the situation and how Jesse Owens took over the 1936. You heard that woman in there saying that. When do you not see a black BADOS when they excel in something, go somewhere and mesmerize the shit out of other nations? That's just who we are. Huh? And so a book that Michener had wrote about the 1936 Olympics, he said other journalists were with him on the day that Owens produced the picture. And guess what? All the rest of those other journalists did not report on it. So there was a consensus not to do that. See? It's a consensus to make sure that the blacks not to be seen in the light and to nobody to acknowledge. And even Jesse Owens was disappointed by this. He was shaking his head disapprovingly about it. And so what it seems like that the press was very obedient to whoever was the high-ups to make that, if that should take place, that they was never to publish it. And Meshner was saying that he make no excuses about it, but no one wanted to make Hitler the monster look good. Now again, see, that's the contradiction here, right? He's a monster for what took place. No one's going to deny that. But like in the beginning of this show here, a white woman got on here and talked about how white people can, say that 1.6 killing of a black person a day is a slow year, shoot up a school and white lives still matter. They can shoot up a church and white lives still matter, can blow up buildings and white lives still matter, can molest children and white lives still matter, can be serial killers and white lives still matter, right? Right? Can be an organization but cannot be deemed a terrorist, right? White lives matter, right? So the narrative can always be, even though somebody is what they are, in the case of what I just said, they still show the good in them because they're still white. But in the case of this, it takes the monster away, that the people that you deemed inferior, that he had a moment that he had to acknowledge the fact, damn boy, you made my Superman look like he was nothing. No, the truth just revealed itself that ain't what the Superman is. The Superman resides inside of the BLAK. So rather to acknowledge that, we would rather bury that. We would rather bury it than to give the monster a moment that looks. So the same thing goes back to what? That letter, It goes back to the letter. Again, you got on Desean Jackson for posting this. He didn't write it. He didn't say it, but he is responsible for posting it. No one's going to, okay, so you talking about, as a nation, extorting people to keep this lie. Well, okay, all right. We're not going to focus on that. Okay, you want to hold that. But no one wants to address the fact that he talked about we as BADOS in this land are the children of Israel. No one wants to deal with that part. You destroy all the rest of it to not deal with that. And then y'all say that he didn't say that. Then who wrote that? Because that's not just like somebody typing. That's a page of a book. If you look good, you can see the back print on the back of that. So that means there's a book that exists. Then that means that y'all need to attack the author for fraudulently making a claim that is detrimental to you as a people. I don't think they're going to do that. Because obviously that author got that from somewhere and he can be able to prove that. Then what happens? Some, they try to claim and say, well, get it off a website and all this other stuff. Okay, with that being said. But can somebody, I think even the Bible talks about the difference about you doing good, like with your family, ain't no different than somebody who's bad do for their family. Which means that somebody who is just as evil, they do good by their people. In their eyes, they can be good people to those people. So there's something good in even all people that those who are late that they care about, right? But the acts that they do that end up being the things that when you weigh in the balance, in the scale, and they deem to be that, The monster, ain't nobody going to dispute that. But that don't mean that the monster can't be saying truths. Right? Does that mean the monster can't be true? So, okay, when Jesse Owens said he got a picture with him that nobody wanted to, so that didn't happen. And now you're saying that somebody said something and said this part, that can't be true. Who gains from it and who loses from it is the question. So here it is. This individual, right? Everybody is dead. Right? All the colleagues that was there, Owens is dead. He did this article that I read, and this was his last chance to set the record straight. He said he has no idea where the photo is or even if it still exists. Only people who probably had that photo was either when he died, if he had that wallet with him, they went through there and they seen it. Depending on what stance they took, they got rid of it, or they could have kept it. Who knows? Jesse Owens died in 1980. Won 4 track and field gold medals in 100, the long jump, the 200 meters, and all that was in Berlin, right? The individual said he insisted that he had not been snubbed by Hitler, but made no reference to meeting him and shaking hands. He was probably made to buy into the myth as much as we were, added Michener. See? Controlling the narrative. And guess what? Jesse Owens said, when you get a lot of black men who went into the military and went into Germany, that's why you've seen a lot of jazz musicians go into Germany and back into Europe. As much as they say that they hated the black man, and when you talk about the Holocaust, why don't anybody talk about the black part of the Holocaust? If there wasn't black people being sterilized in there, as they had Jehovah's Witnesses, all the purple triangle. They had other people there besides them. You get what I'm saying? But you cut all that out and it's solely about you, right? But you know what? Jesse Owens also, it was quoted, he said, Owens said he was treated better in Germany than in America. He said, where blacks face segregation. Or blacks face segregation. But he was a man that shook Hitler's hand. Just like Muhammad Ali when he won his gold medal, and after winning and try to go into a restaurant and say, boy, you got to take your nigga ass somewhere else and don't eat in here. He went and took that damn gold medal and threw that shit in the lake because he said, what the fuck did it mean? Nothing. Didn't mean nothing. So guess what? Can somebody, even though being as atrocious and a monster, still can't speak truth? Even though the devil is what the devil is, do he not mimic and say the truth, even though he's doing it to mislead? He has to misguide you and mislead you? That's a question you got to ask yourself, right? So again, this is your host, Mr. Blow Your Mind. I want to thank each and everyone for clicking on the video. And you tell me what you think. Hopefully this video stays up, right? Let's go ahead and get it so we can get up out of here, right? Yeah, that's, Yeah, nobody wanted to deal with that part. What was wrong with that part? What was wrong with that part, right? Yeah. It's one thing to say somebody a monster, but that don't mean that the monster can't say a truth. And nobody wanted to deal with the truth. They wanted to get around that whole issue and talk more about that part. What about the crux of the part that he wanted to say he wanted to inspire his people? So y'all wanted to make it believe he wanted to inspire people to come after you. That came down from the spiritual above. That was a God sent to sit down that seed that somebody has spoke, that he prophesied that seed that he's dropped, wherever they got that from, and y'all brought that to light, that seed is being planted. Again, I am the most hated show on the black corner of the internet. Thank you for looking and clicking on the video. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. When you see your brother, greet your brother. What's good, brother? What's good, brother? When you see your sister, what's good, sisters? What's good, brother? If you can't do that much, at least give it a universal now. You know how we get a universal now when we see each other? No, we living in a day and time where people are seeking for our demise. We know we as BADOS, there's something to us that everybody knows and nobody want to talk about. But you know what? Spiritual world talking is showing things. You just got to be able to see it. At the appointed time that came out, to have you, those who inquisitive, to figure that out, will those be prophetic words? So again, this is the most hated show on the black corner internet. And to the next show, y'all, to the next show.